Welcome to Wild Turkey Science, a podcast made possible by Turkeys for Tomorrow. I'm Dr. Marcus Lashley, Professor of Wildlife Ecology at the University of Florida.
And I'm Dr. Will Gulsby, Professor of Wildlife Ecology and Management at Auburn University. We're both lifelong hunters and devoted scientists who are passionate about hunting, managing, and researching wild turkeys.
In this podcast, we'll explore turkey research, speak to the experts in the field, and address the difficult questions related to wild turkey ecology and management.
Our goal
is to serve as your connection to wild turkey science. Because every time we start the show, we're literally laughing. And, I know that you guys had a lot of funny interactions through the process of filming these courses. So we thought it would be fun to have you on the show. So in case you both don't know, we're live now.
Cool.
For those out there listening, we're going to do this one a little differently. We asked Will to step away because we've kind of got some incriminating things about him. I'm just kidding. But we do have some funny things that happened, even with Will, that you guys can share. But so we have Zach Steele, Dr. Zach Steele, back with us. And, I think it's good for people to know that you haven't just been emailing folks, pestering them, that you've also been developing some really important stuff that people are really valuing. And then Dorothy, you go by Dot, is here with us. She has been behind the scenes and behind a lot of the social media stuff that you guys see if you're following us, a lot of the video footage and images, and also one of your big accomplishments has been the editing and curating of our course that we've already launched. So thank you guys for coming to do this, and we're sad that Will wasn't here, but we're also kind of happy because I hear you've got some good stuff on him.
We might have some dirt. We might.
Yeah. Well, so I would like to hear from your perspective, what is this course that we have? I know we have given our perspective on what that course is and what it entails and how valuable it is, but I'd like to hear it from your perspective, since you guys literally did the filming and editing and curation of the course. What do you think in terms of the resource that you've created? I guess describe that.
You want to go first, Dot, or you want me to?
I don't mind going first. Well, before we started filming it, I knew less than nothing about turkeys and habitat management. Even when I got this job, I didn't know anything about turkeys. And I feel like I've learned a lot, especially filming the course. I actually learned a ton about habitat management, and about turkeys. And I think it's a really great resource for land managers. There's just such a variety of different content and different speakers in the course. While I was editing, I felt like every video I'd learn something new every few minutes. And especially, I really learned something new because I had to rewatch the same video 50 times to cut little things. So I really learned a lot.
So the final cut of the course, how long is it? In terms of just continuous footage? It's probably 10 hours of
around 10 hours.
At least.
For the first one.
Yeah, and we cut out a chunk. So you can just imagine how many hours there was.
So 10 hours times 50 at least. And
Exactly.
probably another 50 on that, I would bet. Certainly across many people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people are having to rewatch things and go through it, and real challenge.
But that's the thing as well, because even when I watch pieces of it now, I feel like I still learn new things despite having watched it however many 100 times. I'll still learn a new thing, like, with like burning and the different plant coverage and the canopies coverage for the poults and what kind of plants you should plant and predator management or all that kind of stuff. There's just like so much. Yeah, I think it's a really good, valuable resource for land managers. And there's not really anything else like it out there, which is, it's pretty cool that we got to pioneer this.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Zach, do you want to add anything from your perspective?
Yeah, so I remember when I first started this position back in like August of 2024, and Marcus, you describing like what your vision was for this course. I remember it was kind of hard in my head to like actually think, oh wow, we're actually gonna make this happen. It just seemed so expansive and like such an undertaking that it was really intimidating. And then it obviously helped a lot when we brought Dot onto the team, because now all of a sudden we've got an expert who's done a lot of this kind of stuff before. So it's like, okay, we've got our person now who can really help us to make this a reality. And then I was really involved with a lot of the coordinating side of things because I love to annoy people by email. That's kind of my passion in life. So I was reaching out to all the different folks who we were going to get to film with. But then another big component of this course was reaching out to landowners and then also people working at state agencies to kind of talk with them and have these hour-long discussions where we get their input about what they wanted out of the course. Because I think a mistake that a lot of people make sometimes is they develop a course based on what they think is best for the course without actually speaking to the people who would be taking that course and getting an understanding of, what they're expecting out of the course. So we made a lot of significant changes to how we plan things out. And then on the back end, how we edited things based on those conversations that we had with, I think, 8 to 10 landowners and then folks who were working for state agencies. So that was a big component of how I was involved. And I definitely want to give those 8 to 10 individuals a shout out for making the time to have those conversations with us, because that was hugely beneficial into kind of how we shaped and formed the course.
Yeah. So, and you said so basically before we started recording anything during the planning process, you had these, I guess, conversations with people, and those were private landowners or managers, and also state agency practitioners. And, the whole point was to see what do they want the course to contain, which topics are important, which topics are something that aren't very important to them. And I can remember, our initial vision, the course was essentially twice as long as what got cut. And it was because of that feedback. Like basically those people that we wanted, we wanted this to be a resource that would help people in any situation that they might be in as a manager. So whether that be a private landowner that, has been managing their property for turkeys, but needs, some advanced direction in how to do that better, or state agency, that they're managing WMAs or working with private landowners. Did you have any other groups represented in that? Or
no, that pretty much sums it up.
Okay. So the initial course, the one that's live now, was really based on that feedback. We kind of whittled it down to this 10, 11-hour course that has field management, food plots, forest management, forest stand improvement, prescribed burning, predator management tactics. We also had one of the things I'm most excited about, and still am, and have learned even myself from, was having our expert managers that go and work with landowners all over the place. Dot, you're going to go to sleep? Am I going?
Dot's about to tell us a ghost story. It looks like God,
you got to swing your arm around. There you go. You're being too still.
I was like, what just happened? It felt like I was in South Africa again. I was like load shedding.
I like how she just kind of like, I didn't do it. So we had those case studies.
Yeah, and if I can jump in real quick, Marcus, that was one of the big things that we got from those conversations was how much people wanted direct examples that they could really take from. And that's why we really incorporated those 3 case studies and made such an
Yeah.
emphasis out of that because that's what they talked about a lot in their previous experience going through courses online was, struggling to understand directly how to apply some of what they've learned. And they're like, if we have
Yeah.
specific examples that show, okay, this is what the land looked like before, this is what the land looked like after by doing these steps,
Yeah.
like that's where we're going to get the most out of a course.
Right. So, and that's what the case studies, and we ended up doing 3, which I guess originally I was going to do one, but we decided to get Craig Harper, who has worked with landowners all over the nation. He's known for that. We got Dwayne Elmore, also very experienced, and especially in the Midwest, and then we got Will Gulsby, and since he's not here, I'll say something kind about him, but I'd never do this if he was on here with us. Like he works with landowners all the time, is very knowledgeable about that, especially in the southeastern U.S. And he and I sometimes even do that together. So I knew those guys have tons of experience in different contexts making management plans for private landowners, and they would have some really good examples to kind of lay out all of the things that we're talking about in the course and then put them into a context where they show how they applied all those things and then how the landscape changed over time, and ultimately what did that mean for turkeys. How did it change the amount of turkeys and the hunting experience and huntability of the property and that sort of thing. And man, I found that so valuable, even for me. Like I do this for a living and have been for a long time, and go work with private landowners constantly, helping them do this, and I still gained a lot from it. So I think, that was something I was really excited about when we were about to launch, because I had to go through it and kind of with a fine tooth comb as well. And, I just learned a lot from it. And I was like, man, this is pretty powerful stuff. So I'm glad you guys were in the, in the wheelhouse making it crank, so to speak, and still are.
Yeah.
So we'll link the course if you haven't had a chance to take it. We'll link it for you, but we know a lot of people have taken it, and the feedback. I mean, Zach, you're the one tracking all this. I mean, the feedback so far has been pretty stellar, I would say.
Yeah, people seem to be really benefiting from the course and really appreciative that this is available because, before this, like it was kind of hard to find resources if you were looking for some additional support in terms of learning more about how you can manage your land for wild turkeys.
Yeah,
So
there
this
was
is
just some stupid podcast, but other than
yeah, people were tired of listening to you and you and Will all the time. So they're like, we need something else. So we had to
Yeah.
get these other experts in here to give them some extra information.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the vision, originally when I started thinking about this, and this came from listener feedback and viewer feedback for the game lab. People were asking for more and more and more. And it's like, man, we just like the more podcasting we do, the more people want more. And the more we put, do these informational videos and things online, the more people want. And people were asking for it. And that's why we did it.
Yeah, we got like a ton of questions on social media. I remember like when I first started, like between Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, like we just couldn't keep up with everything.
Yeah.
And we needed like something that was like a centralized form of information.
Yeah. Well, and I also, from my viewpoint, I commonly work on habitat management and all these different sectors, but I also know that we have a bunch of experts out there that are the best there is. And that, I have a a good relationship with those people, and the habitat, the people that specialize on habitat. There's a relatively small community in academia, especially when you narrow it down to game species, and even more so when you narrow it down to turkeys. And that was really what I thought. This shouldn't just be me or even a small group of folks from UF. We need to go and try to get the who's who, so to speak, of the game habitat management world. And that's what ended up happening. Everybody we asked to do it participated. So, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and just I guess to add to that too, the part that gets complicated is all these experts, have a lot of other undertakings and involved in a lot of different stuff. So trying to lasso them up to sit down just to record for 2 or 3 hours is a lot more difficult than you might think. So kind of planning this out, especially since we're traveling to different locations across the country, was a little complicated.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you about that. I kind of wanted to go there because a lot of people see the product at the end, but there also has been interest in how, I guess, the making. So this is about the making of the course. So you guys, particularly the two of you, and I did it once or twice, and then maybe some other people traveled once or twice even, but you two were doing the majority of traveling, and you were actually going to the speaker. So, like, you went to Auburn to talk to Will, right? Or film
We
him.
didn't want to, but we did.
We did everything we could to try to get him to come somewhere else, and he would not do it. Even when he did come somewhere else, he still wouldn't film.
Had to go all the way to Auburn. We were all in the same place.
Yeah.
Before that, we could have done it there.
Yeah.
We did
So
have
we
one of
were
the
all-
best meals of our lives, though.
I
when we
was
went to
going to
Auburn.
say the
We
same
did.
thing. I was like, we did have very nice food in Auburn.
So it
He
worked
gave
out.
us a good recommendation.
Okay, so where all did you go?
So we went to Auburn. We went to Mississippi State. We went to Tennessee. Me and you did, Marcus. We went to Oklahoma State. We went to Quincy, Florida. We went to, oh gosh, how do you say Dwayne's?
Oh, I don't know.
He said it for us, and I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna remember that. It's
Wasn't
like
it Georgia?
Jockin, like
Something-
Jockin,
yes.
Georgia, something like right on
Something
the
like
border of
that.
Georgia.
If you're from Jockin, Georgia, leave us a comment.
Oh man, well Dwayne's gonna leave a comment and be like, I told you, Zach, how to say it, and you forgot, you big dummy. All right, good.
We went to Tennessee twice because we went like the one time I went with, and
Oh,
then
yes.
so we were actually in Tennessee twice.
Wait, are you mean the convention, and then we went back
Yeah.
to Craig?
Yeah, we filmed there twice.
Yeah. Okay. So I want both of you to answer this. Since you brought up food, where did you have the best meal? And I want each of you to answer that because I know you didn't both go to every locations.
I'm actually curious to hear what Zach has to say.
Oh, see, you shouldn't say that because you actually missed out on the best meal diet. When we went to Craig's, Craig made us like
I think so too.
he made us like a 10-course meal. Like there was so many parts where I was like, well, that's got to be the end of it. And then he'd bring
Yeah.
out even more delicious stuff. And like, oh man, like I'm the kind of person who I can eat for days. So like he just kept bringing more stuff, and I was like, no, just keep this stuff coming. This is incredible. Like we had tuna, we had deer, we had turkey.
But
Yeah,
it
like,
wasn't just deer, it was Coos deer.
Yeah, it was like very like rare, once in a lifetime kind of deer. You're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
These giant
Yeah.
tuna steaks. We had chocolate cake. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I still think about that meal every once in a while.
Did he have he had turkey strips that he grilled in that too, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh man, they were.
So yeah,
It's
there were
so
so
good.
many different things. That was really good.
I'm very sad I missed that. On like my American food journey, I feel like that would have been
Oh, that was homemade too.
Yeah.
And when Miss Theresa starts making stuff, I mean,
Oh,
whatever
God.
it is, that's the best version you've ever had of it.
very sad I missed that. What is the name of the restaurant in Auburn? Because I think we ate so much takeout. Oh my word. I remember Zach and I even said to each other, we just never want to see takeout again because we're just on the road all the time. Like takeout and hotel breakfast buffet food.
Yeah.
What is the name of that place in Auburn? Because I actually think that was the nicest takeout.
Gosh, I wish I could remember. It's in my notes somewhere. Because, yeah, I remember Will gave us the 2 recommendations.
It's like this little boutique.
You guys need to remember it because they
Restaurant.
promised us a kickback if we put people on it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so that food was really good.
What did you eat? Like, what kind of food was it?
It was just like a toasted sandwich. And I had tomato soup with mine. It was very basic, but it was delicious. It was like a bacon jam toasted cheese thing.
Was it called Acre? Was Acre?
I think it was
Acre. Acre is a
yes.
well-known establishment in Auburn. That sounds like it. You know, fun fact: I was visiting with a landowner in Alabama, not that county, other side of the state, but he had smoked turkey for me to, just for supper when I came to visit, and he had some barbecue sauce from Acre or whatever the full name is, and it was like, man, that was so good. The turkey plus the sauce from there, it was very good stuff.
It really was delicious. And I'm glad we were in such a rush that day. I'm so glad we waited for the food because we needed to get on the road because we were driving back to Florida, and we called the order in, and it was worth the wait. It was really good.
Yeah, their fried okra is top tier.
That was the first time I ever had okra, and it was nice.
Oh, was it like the barbecue okra?
No, it's just like normal fried okra, but it was hidden.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I love okra of all kinds.
Yeah. Oof.
Good stuff. Well, what about in terms of your interactions with everybody? Like, did you have any funny interactions when you were filming the habitat stuff?
So many. All the bloopers I edited out were just, every now and then I would just laugh and be like, oh, I forgot that this was actually, especially you two, when we were filming here at UF, like listening to your bloopers. It was
Wait, my bloopers? Or
you and Zach together, because you just play off each other's energy, and then the one starts laughing and the other one starts laughing, and then it just takes us 15 minutes to get started.
To get 5 seconds of good footage?
Yes.
That's funny. Maybe we can do a blooper reel from the game lab.
I don't know if we can air the bloopers from that day. I don't know. I don't know if we can air that.
It'll just end up being a whole turkey gobble.
Yeah, it was pretty much.
What, I guess, when you were filming with people, were there any other funny interactions where people just kept having bloopers, or you had equipment malfunctions, or what kinds of things were happening like that?
There was one, I mean, you were there for it, Marcus, when we were filming with Craig, and I think it was we were 3 hours in at this point. So I totally understand, but he was starting to lose his voice, and you could tell it was making him more angry. He was getting mad at himself that he was just losing his voice. So he kept trying to drink more water and miraculously get his voice back, but it wasn't happening. So I think we just took a break for an hour and had lunch. And then got back into it afterwards, and it was fine. But you could tell on his face, he was like, man, I'm so annoyed with this right now.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty intense. So I think quite a few people for this one, quite a few people contributed 2 modules. Yeah. So that's at least 2 hours roughly for each person. Some of those, if you've taken the course, you didn't see the person twice because they also did a module that they're contributing to the other course that's in development currently. Right. So, but yeah, I remember with Craig, anybody that's gone through this has seen both of those, but he started getting that dry throat, which I guess maybe it was because there's, the humidity was low enough to burn. And we know that because Zach and I ended up doing a bunch of prescribed burning while we were up there. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. You also played a good joke on me that day too. You tricked me. I was trying to get all this cool footage
I
of
forgot
Marcus
about it.
burning stuff, and like
And
I'm
that
like
was
locked in on getting this like really high quality footage, and Marcus is like, "Man, the fire's moving so slow right now that if you zoom in right there, Zach, you can see this caterpillar that's outpacing the fire." And I'm like zooming in desperately
he's
trying to
like
find
looking
this.
for this. It's like, where's the caterpillar?
I was like, I want to get this caterpillar running away from the fire.
It's amazing how slow the fire. Oh, look, see, there's a caterpillar outrunning the fire right there. It's not really there, Zach.
And Marcus is like, there's no caterpillar, Zach. Like, I'm just messing with you.
That's so funny.
It was hilarious.
I hope you still have that footage somewhere.
Oh, we've got it.
Oh, if you
Yeah,
hadn't told me to, I would have still been looking for that caterpillar. I was so sure it was there.
I was filming him when I told him that. And then he's like, look, trying to, or no, you were filming.
Yeah, I was filming it.
You were filming, and I said that to him, and he's like looking around for this caterpillar, and then finally I'm like, there's not a caterpillar. But I was trying to emphasize how slow the fire was moving. I mean, we're burning up on hardwoods, and we were using firing techniques that, they're definitely not going to damage the overstory, and that's the whole point, right? And I was trying to emphasize that, but Zach jumped on it, hook, line, and sinker, buddy. So yeah, we have some cool video that we have a couple of how-to burning videos for burning and up on hardwoods that we're working on to put on YouTube from that. And I think people, I get a lot of questions about burning and up on hardwoods. So kind of, and so does Craig. So it motivated us while we were burning to cut some good footage and talk through what we're doing strategically, what kind of conditions we're burning in, and what the firing techniques are to make sure that we're not putting overstory trees in danger, and also accomplishing our objective with the burn. So, but yeah, I forgot about that. That was hilarious. So, also really great experience for you to get some prescribed burning experience in that system. So, pretty good. I think we may have used some of the B-roll in the course when that was primarily your role when you were doing the editing. I think that's another valuable thing that's unique about the course is it's not just filming folks sitting around a computer doing a presentation. There's some footage related to that, and you see slides that they're using to emphasize points, but you're also using footage that you took in the field or that they took in the field to kind of show people what they're talking about at a given point in the presentation.
Yeah, and I think that it's because it's footage that we took or that other people have taken in the field. Like it's not necessarily stock footage. It's like real life practical footage is what also makes the course so valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can visualize some of the things that people are talking about. So really cool.
Yeah, it might be worth just describing like what the like setup looked like for a lot of these sessions too when we were filming this. Like Dot, I don't know if you want to touch on like all the equipment that we needed, because we'd walk into a room sometimes to film with somebody and they'd be like, "You guys brought all this?" Like they were getting ready for us to like put makeup on and stuff. They're like, "Man, this is some like Hollywood stuff right here."
Yeah, Craig did not want to wear the blush. Like he's like, this is a hard no, guys.
Yeah, I think a lot of people weren't expecting that kind of setup. Almost every single time when they walked in there, they were like, whoa, when they like saw the lights and the camera and like the little microphone.
It's like, I just got a little bit nervous. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'd have like a lighting setup. We had our camera, tripods, our microphones, and we traveled with all this stuff as well. So, I mean, I was there to help, but poor Zach was actually carrying like.
You want to tell the NWTF one, Dot? He was.
That's exactly what I thought of. That's why I laughed. So We go to NWTF and
The convention in Nashville. Sorry.
the convention in Nashville. And we were filming with some guests there. And we get there, and we drove up there, so we are busy unloading the car. And we asked the bell door person, can they help us like with the equipment? And they're like, sure, it's $25. Oh, if you're with a convention, it's $25 to like help you take it down to wherever you need. And me, being the cheapskate that I am, I was like, $25? We can just carry this stuff. And I'm pretty sure Zach was standing there like, let's just put $25. And I was like, we can do this. We can carry it. So I made us carry all this equipment. I wish someone took a video of us. But yeah, we carried the C-stands, the lights, the soft boxes, cameras, tripods, a very far distance.
These big Pelican cases and stuff.
This was before we had the Pelican cases. So since we got the Pelican cases,
so it's a bit loose.
Yes.
I was just carrying around these giant, like what almost looks like the bar you use when you're bench pressing. Like I'm carrying those around like this luxury
like
hotel. And the funny part was like this guy who was super nice was basically like, hey, like there's a shortcut if I like take you to the side of the hotel, like that'll get you real quick to the convention. We're like, oh heck yeah, like just shuttle us over there. So he drops us off and we go through the side entrance and we're like, wait a second, I don't think this is a shortcut. And it actually took us to like a lower area where we had to carry everything up like all these flights of stairs.
Mm-hmm. It was not a shortcut.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, we looked so
hilarious.
goofy carrying all this equipment and everything was like banging against the walls and like, oh my God. Like by the time we finally got it set up, we were like drenched in sweat.
Yeah, we were pretty tired. So it was quite a setup. There was a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
And it went everywhere with us. I was very happy when we got, and I'm sure Zach was too, when we got our big Pelican case.
Yes.
It made
That's
things
funny.
a lot easier.
Yeah, and it was also nice. You know, the convention is a gathering place, I guess, for a lot of the folks that we wanted to record, and also the guys that with NWTF had some rooms set aside, and they let us use one of their recording studios that they are, I guess, just a recording room that we made into a studio with the stuff. But it was nice kind of having that opportunity to record. So, and then I was thinking back, a lot of the people that we recorded there are actually going to be contributing modules to the other course.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think that would be one thing we have up till now largely been talking about the habitat course that's already live that people can sign up for right now, but we have another course that's complementary that we already have recorded the footage for. So can you guys talk about what's the difference in them? What are you going to have in that course?
So the other course is going to get in a lot of ways into some of the historical side of things, a lot more into the actual like hunting approaches side of things. I'll be in the other course talking about human dimensions. If anybody cares about that, get excited.
Yeah, I think the one we have out now is very like hands-on practical. Like if you want to get started, this is what you need. And then the second course is, as you said, Zach, complementary, right? So if the first one really interested you and you want more and you want to dive a little bit deeper, that's what the second course is.
Yeah, so with the second one, I think that was a great way to describe it. I don't know that I'd necessarily say it's introductory overall, but it has like the history of wild turkeys, like what happened with wild turkeys, the history of the restoration efforts. I was trying to think because I think I was there while we were recording. So who do you guys want to?
Is David Harley?
So David Hawley was one of them. So he's from Mossy Oak, and he and I grew up in the same town. I don't even know if you guys knew that. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did.
You did mention it.
Yeah, we were a little bit of an age gap. I'm a little older than he is, but we knew each other well, and we've always our families have always known each other. Uh, but yeah, so he talks some about the history and also about hunting tactics and goes through, and I think he may have brought up the story to you guys, but when he was I think he
Yes.
was 13 or 14 years old, he went on to what was it, the Tonight Show?
I think it was David Letterman, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
David Letterman.
Or yeah, so yeah, he went on that show to showcase calling, even at that young age. So it's like just to me, one of those people that's just really gifted, and I'm sure a lot of that came from practice and his intense passion for wild turkeys. But we wanted to try to capture some of that knowledge and energy from him, and he was more than happy to jump on and help us. And he was one of them that recorded there. So who else did you record there?
It was Brent
Yeah,
Brent
Brent
Rogers.
Brent
Yeah, so
Rogers.
so Gobble Getter, I think is what he goes by online. So Brent, is one of those people that is just passionate about wild turkeys, and he's kind of I don't want to say amateur because he's so good at it, but he's like a historian, but that's not his profession. What I mean.
Yeah, it was like I was so surprised when it was like, oh, this is just kind of like a hobby that I do. I actually like
Yeah.
have another job. I was like, oh, you're
When
yeah.
he has all this awesome like historical stuff that he's collected, just
Mhm.
like writings and different objects and things from all this era, and hearing him talk through the history of wild turkeys is pretty incredible. So yeah, but we also have other parts of it, like we have some things about the biology of turkeys and ecology of turkeys that are going to go into this course, that are just things that are important to understand and interesting to know about turkeys. The role that hunting has played in the conservation of the species, just more basic biological things like the mating system and population related things. Things related to their physiology. What am I missing in here? What else isn't going to go into that course?
Yeah, did you mention like the going through the different subspecies? Because yeah,
Oh yeah,
Anesha and Brandon
Yes.
are
yeah. So
contributing that.
two of our PhD students that are working on wild turkeys and helping us a lot with the extension here, uh, put together some subspecies profiles and talked about that. Yeah, so I think it's pretty cool to have this. The idea, I guess, was to be completely comprehensive, but also not have it be 40 hours long. So we split it, and that's kind of the how we decided to split it was, and it was based on that feedback you were talking about, Zach, from folks. They really wanted it to be management centric, and so we split it to have one that's really management centric and one that's more geared toward understanding how the history of turkeys, the importance of hunters, the funding model. That was another thing that's in there. Like how are we funding conservation, the role that hunters are playing in that. Hunting 101. Like what do you need to go hunting? Here's some strategy and tactics and how to use calls and that sort of thing. So, very complimentary courses.
Yeah.
So I know when we were filming Brent, I was in there watching, and it was just like one thing after another after another. Like he was just saying stuff, and I was just, like, as an enthusiast, I was glued to it. And he's done a couple of really cool works recently. He did some work with Mossy Oak, that people have seen with some of the historical things they've been doing, and yeah, just so knowledgeable about all that.
Yeah, his section of the course was really super interesting. I mean, as someone like who didn't really know anything about turkeys, it was really cool to learn all that about turkeys from him. It was very engaging and interesting. I'm excited to put that out in part 2.
Yeah, I got a lot out of both his and David's, and we also
Mhm.
learned about David's secret talent, where he's actually one of the best impersonators on the planet. He was
Yes.
doing some impersonations that were
Oh, I
better than
forgot
some
about
people in
that.
Hollywood. I was like, wow.
It was
Yeah.
He
so
was
fun to film with him.
he was doing David Attenborough, and it was like David was like in the room with us.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't even know that. Even though I grew up in the same town with him, I didn't know that he was that skilled.
Yeah, he had all of us laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who else is contributing to that course? I think I'm going to have a contribution in it, and did Carolina
I
Peruzzi
think
also
Carolina and
contribute?
Coulter as well. I think Coulter has one
Yeah,
in there.
Coulter Chipwood, and then Mark McConnell has
Yes.
one in
Yes.
there, right?
Yep.
So we also had Mark Turner, but it took me a minute. I think Mark Turner's contributions are both in the habitat or the management centric one.
Yep.
So yeah, really cool, and really awesome to watch it develop and come to fruition, and now to be getting feedback on it, with the first one at least. So yeah, that was really cool to watch this all come out. I appreciate all the hard work from you guys, and I think a lot of people out there do. So it's nice to give you guys a platform to talk about that experience.
Yeah, it was really fun doing it. Like if I look back on it and reflect on it, it was a really cool experience. And it's actually crazy to think that we did all the filming in like 2 months. Because I remember like we were talking about it in December, and then it was like, yeah, we're gonna do this and this and this, and I'm like, okay, but January is next month. And January came and it's like, okay, you guys are flying here, driving here, and we did it. We got it done in like 2 months, the
Yeah,
filming. And then we
yeah,
edited it, and I think we made a really cool thing.
yeah, for
Yeah, and
sure.
we had some big time assists from people along the way. Like there's a lot of folks we're super appreciative to. Like your buddy Chris, Marcus, he
Yes.
was super kind to us, him and his entire family. They did a ton of stuff for us while we were out there. We got to go hunting on their property, which was really, really cool. And then obviously Craig let us stay over there and made us delicious meals. There was just a
Did some
lot of
prescribed burning.
yeah, and David gave both of us a call, which was really cool as well. So yeah, there's
Yeah,
just so many moments that I look back on and I'm like, wow, I really appreciate um, that we had this opportunity and that people were willing to step up and help us and do so many
Mhm.
kind things for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, the people were really very kind and very like welcoming, and it was so cool to meet everyone and get to have this experience.
hmm
Everyone was really great.
yeah, that's cool. Well, one last thing that I thought about, we've gotten some feedback. Do you know, Zach, like what some of those sentiments are? And also the other question, I was just curious if you have a sense for how much acreage is being affected so far.
Um, I'd have to double check to see like what the acreage is. I don't have that off the top of my head. But yeah, like a lot of the sentiments have just been, there's a lot of things in the course that I think people hadn't really put too much thought into, like especially when you get into like the pathogen side of things. That's
Mhm.
something that I think a lot of landowners are a little unfamiliar with. So they really benefited from learning about those kind of topics that you really have to dive into if you're going to, get a deeper understanding of that. So that
Mhm.
was a really good module that TJ and Sam put together. And then some of the stuff on, the predator management side of things and emphasizing that habitat management in a lot of ways is predator management. So yeah, a lot of the feedback we've gotten is just on you guys shed light on things that I hadn't considered as much in my
Mhm.
own research or talking to the people that I value in terms of improving my land management.
Mhm. Yeah, and even for me, like, having the population management sections, I guess. Like, I was thinking about Anna Muller, what she contributed. Like, like her research program is on how to monitor populations better, and she works with turkeys as part of that. But just talking about a plan for how you can monitor your success and your population status on your land. Like, there's just so much in it. It's even hard for me to think through all the things that are in it, honestly. I know you guys have talked about that in the past. It was a pretty overwhelming project to see to fruition,
but we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
And we like hit all our goals, and it's live, and people are taking it, which is so cool and so exciting. People are learning from it.
Yeah, please take the surveys on there. That's for Zach.
Well, not just me. Anesha had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, her PhD program is utilizing that information as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good stuff out of that. And yeah, I also wanted to just throw in too, like the amount of time that Dot had to put up with me in the car. So I'm very grateful for Dot for not throwing me out the window at some point, because we listen to a lot of my weird podcasts that I enjoy. And I'm into more of the like scary story stuff. So we're doing some late drives with these terrifying stories playing. And then I'm into mostly like rock and metal. So Dot was putting up with my music too. So props to you, Dot.
That did remind me of one thing. Can you describe what your ride back from Tennessee was like with me?
Okay, so I've, been in the car with people who love a band before, but I've never been in the car with someone who loves a band like Marcus loves AC/DC. Like, we probably listened to maybe 38 straight AC/DC songs, and every single one of the next songs, Marcus is like, oh, this song's going to change your life. And then he would be belting that song at the top of his lungs, know every lyric, and then we'd get to the end, and he'd be like, what'd you think about that one, man? It was incredible, right? It's like, there has to be a point where the songs aren't as good as the last one, but he's that passionate about every single one.
Well, that came from a discussion. Now I can't remember where it was and what we were talking about, but I just was like, well, we got on greatest rock and roll bands. And I was like, well, I think it's hard to compete with AC/DC because they have platinum records in 4 different decades. And, we went back and forth, and then Zach was like, all right, let's hear the playlist. And we literally did not run out of songs for the entire drive all the way from Knoxville back to Gainesville, which I think is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it was definitely getting us pumped up because we were making really good time getting home too. We were flying.
Yeah. And you were like, I think there was like one song that you're like, yeah, that one wasn't so good, but the other one's pretty good songs.
Well, and the one song was their like joke song that they put out or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a spoof. But overall, it was pretty decent experience,
Yeah, I had to eat my words because I think before we started playing it, I was like, yeah, they've got like 8 or 9 pretty good songs. And then we were on song 30, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm wrong here.
One other thing, like on YouTube when we were looking at them, I forgot what the number was, but wasn't it like 18 or 20 songs that were downloaded billions of times?
Yeah.
Or listened to or whatever they're tracking on there. And I was like, man, I can't find another artist that has more than 2 or 3 that are in the billions,
Well, and you were pulling up like a lot of the videos too, and like you were showing me like stuff from the concert, and you were like, look at these people, they're losing their mind. And you're like, I'm going to that concert in a month and I'm going to be losing my mind.
And I did. It was so awesome. Yeah, I went to see him in Tampa, and that was amazing.
Well, yeah, that was one of the downsides to the course was, we were bouncing around so much. I missed out on a lot of the concerts I was hoping to go to. And here's my little jab at the NWTF convention. I feel like they need to make sure they don't schedule it when the Daytona 500 is going on, because poor Dot on the drive back from that. I made her listen to the MRN, which is like the radio network that does NASCAR, like the whole NASCAR feed of the Daytona 500, which if you're into NASCAR like I am, like that's fine. But if you're not, you're literally listening to these people on the radio talking about cars going in a circle.
Yep, I had no idea what I was listening to. I was like, and I mean, we live super close to it as well, but I had no idea. But I think it was cancelled as well. Like we listened to it, but it rained out or something. It was postponed.
Yeah, I think it got like delayed, so it ended up working out. Yeah, I can't remember. We had it going for a little bit.
It wasn't so bad driving with you, Zach. Lots of camping and hiking horror stories and.
Well, and Dot picked up pretty quickly on a lot of my like idiosyncrasies. Like I've got pretty bad like anxiety and I have a lot of OCD tendencies. So for me to like leave the truck sometimes, I've got to check the door like 8 times and make sure that like everything's locked up.
Yeah, if you've got something valuable in there.
Even if there's nothing valuable in there, I'm just like paranoid about checking stuff. And I feel like probably like halfway through filming everything, Dot got to the point where she's like, come on, like just leave it. It's locked. Like, and of course it works out. Like one of the last trips we did, we were at the Oklahoma City airport and we were returning the rental car that we had. And I was doing my crazy checks and was making sure I didn't forget anything. And Dot's like, come on, like, let's just get to the airport. Like we can go. And I'm like, all right, fine. Like I'll leave. And of course, that's the one time I forgot my like $400 prescription sunglasses in the truck. And it haunts me to this day that I didn't do my like 5th check and then find that because I know I would have. So I like to blame Dot, even though it's my fault for losing them.
I must say, your checks did. I can't recall exactly what it was, but your crazy checks did save us 1 or 2 times where we almost forgot things. So
nice.
I'll give you that.
Count it.
Good. That's a W for me.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else, like anything that you wanted to share that I didn't ask you about?
I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And you, Zach?
No, I was looking through. I had some notes, but yeah, I think we covered everything. Yeah, I guess like just take this time to thank everybody who's, already signed up for the course, already completed the course. We're super grateful for that. And like we kind of alluded to in the podcast, keep giving feedback. Keep letting us know what you thought of the course and ways we can improve the course, because this isn't a static thing. We're going to continue to update this course and make changes. So, as you go through it and you have any kind of recommendations of how we can improve things, or like we mentioned for this second course, things that you think would be beneficial, definitely let us know. Because, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, the more successful the course is, the more, it's funding that like is self-funded. So the more successful it is, the more we can put into it, and the more products that will ultimately come out of it down the road. So, if you enjoyed that, make sure you check out the other course when it goes live. Share it with others to help us spread the word. Anything that people can do to help us get it in front of more people, I think is ultimately good for the resource, but also is good for the programming, because we'll be able to put more back into it since it's self-funded.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, it was really fun talking to you guys about it. I've heard pieces of these stories and things, over the last several months, but it was nice to kind of talk through all of what went into developing these courses and hearing your side of things. So really fun to do that.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks everybody out there for listening. We appreciate all the support, like always. If you hadn't had a chance, please drop us a rating. Check out the course if you haven't gotten a chance. It's I think, really valuable stuff, and a lot of people are giving us that kind of feedback, helping us share the podcast and other things are always helpful. So thanks everybody for all the support out there.
Wild Turkey Science is part of the Natural Resources University podcast network and is made possible by Turkeys for Tomorrow, a grassroots organization dedicated to the wild turkey. To learn more about TFT, check out turkeysfortomorrow.org.